Coming up, a young mountain biker has a paralysing accident.
No sensory or motor function below L2.
A forestry worker is KO'd by a falling cable.
Kyle, open your eyes for me. Hey, it's all right, relax. Just breathe, that's it.
And a hit and run leaves an elderly woman in a critical condition.
And I think she's got a central cord.
In Code 1. The Code 1 team are on high alert as they respond to a racing accident that's gone terribly wrong.
What we do know is that the patient has been brought down to we're hoping it's a paddock or something. It's a status 2 patient from a possible accident from the bike.
17-year-old Aaron Ewan has collided headfirst into a tree after crashing his mountain bike while participating in a downhill race. He's being assisted by on-site medical staff, 20 minutes flying time from Auckland in the forestry area of Hinua.
Down at 12 o'clock, right ahead of you, about a mile and a half. Yep. Beside those vans in a fluorescent jacket.
Yeah, got him. Yeah. Okay, that looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're going to have slope in the ground to the wall. It's about 6 o'clock, actually.
Yep.
North Col Westpac Rescue 2. Yeah, located.
Yeah, clear out.
Okay.
Downhill mountain bike. Just went over a reasonable bump, but went over the handlebars. Went down onto his head, bike fell on top of him. Wasn't moved at all. When I arrived there, his chief complaint is no sensory or motor function below L2.
Right.
He's in a reasonable amount of pain from that region in his back. We tried reflexes, nothing.
Still nothing now. And this would be what? Half an hour later?
So it's an hour now. Yeah,
It's not the news any paramedic wants to hear.
He hasn't had any pain relief yet?
No.
Good lie on.
Both Dr. Cameron and advanced paramedic Bruce Kerr know that his outcome is not looking good.
At the moment, the main problem seems to be that he can't feel or move anything below sort of his waist. So our immediate concern is that he could have a spinal injury.
It's a shock to the whole team. But for Aaron's mum and dad, they can only try to be strong while their son lies there, paralysed.
Yeah.
In Mission 2, the Mechanics Bay team have been tasked to a young father in a critical condition.
So we've just been called by ambulance to fly to Whitianga for a 20-year-old with a head injury. Query cause at this stage, but it sounds like it's been a forestry accident, and he's not alert, so we'll go and have a look.
23-year-old forestry worker Kyle Ashman has lacerated his skull after being struck by a steel cable while at work. He's been stabilised, 20 minutes flying time from Auckland at the Whitianga airport.
Currently 9 miles to the west of Whitianga.
Paramedic Russell Clark and Dr. Samantha Bendel prepare for the worst.
The main bit of preparation we need to do is think through what our plan of attack is going to be if the patient is more unstable, which we've done. So we've made a drug plan and an airway plan, so we have equipment sorted out in our heads ready to rock. So when we get to the scene, we'll have a look at the patient, decide whether we need to do any intubation or any other further intervention.
Ambulance control, Westpac 1.
Go ahead, Westpac 1.
We'll be locating at the airfield in 3 minutes.
Roger, thank you.
Radar RPM 400, talk, match, harder. Secure, we're secure, check, please. Alright, we'll just go to the look. Okay.
The team arrived to find Kyle is worse than expected.
Kyle was up at the forestry. He's been smacked on the top of the head with a massive 6-steel cable. He's going in and out of consciousness. We're having trouble rousing him.
Right.
Apart from that, he's got about a 5-centimetre laceration on the top of his head, but he is complaining of a headache and neck pain.
Well, you know initially what happened? Was he knocked out initially? Period of time?
There's no one here that actually saw him. He's walked about 100 metres down the hill and pretty much just bundled him into a four-wheel drive and out of here. And he's just up the Corrigly in the forest. Stuff there. Happened about 7 o'clock.
Kyle, open your eyes. Hey, it's It's all right. Relax. Just breathe. That's it. Good boy. That's it. You're right. You're in the ambulance, mate. It's okay. Relax. Yeah. Can you tell us what happened today? Kyle, what happened today? Do you remember?
Kyle is dazed and confused and unable to recall any of the events.
Take a deep breath for me. You push against my hand for me. Push against here. Squeeze my fingers for me. Nice and hard as you can. So this is just Kyle. We're assessing him at the moment. He suffered a head injury. We're just going to gain some IV access and then we'll consider what treatment we're going to give him here and fly him off to hospital.
Further tests indicate that Kyle may also have fractured his skull.
That's all right, darling. It's all right. Okay.
And without immediate hospital attention, his outcome is unknown.
Right, okay. What's your date of birth? Do you remember what
Paramedic Bruce Kerr and Dr. Cameron Rosie are preparing 16-year-old mountain biker Aaron Ewan for transport.
Went over a small, or rolled over a small jump, but went over the handlebars, landed on his head, and the bike landed on top of him. There's a lot of force, obviously, if you come off at high speed.
We'll just give you 2.5 to begin with and make sure everything's okay.
The force of the impact has damaged his spine.
Is it still fairly painful? Very.
It's still sore.
Yeah.
Can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leaving him paralysed from the waist down.
That's the
So where were the pains in your back?
What's your address?
Behind, at what level?
And there.
Right.
Belly button, mate.
Right down, right behind here. Okay. Probably need 5 milligrams so we can move you over and put me in the helicopter.
Aaron's mum and dad are in a state of shock.
Yeah.
His spinal cord will be compromised yet again as they move him to another, more secure stretcher.
What do you think if we roll him tuck a blanket underneath him and lift him on the blanket onto here?
Where do you want to lift? Do you want to have to lift up, or do you just want to go onto the combi carrier on the ground so you don't have to lift the carrier on the ground?
Feeling all right?
Good. Yep.
It's still uncertain just how severely damaged his spine is. So before moving him, Bruce has a final test for any change in sensation.
Can you feel anything down here now, Aaron? No? How high do I need to come up?
Just if I scratch on your tummy.
This is not a good sign for Aaron.
You feel that?
When you're looking at trying to work out what's going on with the nerves, you can look at what people can do and what they can feel and whether they can move. You can also look at reflexes. And one of the difficulties is once you get above sort of your waist, you haven't got limbs to check reflexes on. There's some sort of subtle little reflexes in your abdominal wall that you can check. It just helps us try and work out, sort of what level we're looking at if he has got an injury. 1, 2, 3, lift.
Paramedic Russell Clark and Dr. Samantha Bendel are trying hard to stabilise 23-year-old Kyle Ashman.
You got any pain at the moment? In your head?
He has lacerated his head at work after being struck by a steel cable.
Is it really sore, Kyle? Is it? All right. We can give you something for that in a minute, all right?
His increasing pain is a further sign that he could be suffering a skull fracture.
Why is my head so sore?
Probably got a fracture there, darling. That's
Oh!
We're just going to lie you flat, sweetheart, okay? Yes. I know your head's really sore, sweetheart, okay? I'm sorry it's so sore. All right, but we'll try and sort you out, okay?
It's getting sore.
Yeah, they're going to give you
Dr. Samantha knows that skull fractures are potentially life-threatening and need immediate care.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take you in the helicopter to Auckland Hospital, okay? And because we need to do a CAT scan of your head and see what's going on. All right?
Outside the ambulance, a fellow workmate waits anxiously to see how he's doing.
Yes. Pretty far.
That wasn't pretty tight.
He had back pain as well, so it was even worse.
He's been very brave. He's got a very sore head.
I think he may have a fractured skull, and so we've got to go a little bit low to make sure if there's any air in there it doesn't expand and do bad things.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to take through to Auckland, mate. All right, and yeah, I got.
We're all set secure on the ring. Roger. The anchor traffic Westpac rescue 1 is rolling. S04, the left turn out towards Matarangi.
It's now up to the rescue crew to keep a close eye on Kyle's condition.
Our main concern is with what we call a traumatic brain injury. Obviously, the higher we go, if there's air inside his skull, that will expand and increase the pressure on his brain. So at the moment, it's a precaution. Keeping an eye on his blood pressure, keeping his fluids up, keeping an eye on his oxygen saturations. If he does have a potential brain injury, try and reduce the effects of that.
In Mission 3, the rescue team are en route to a critically injured woman. 72-year-old Jacqueline Moore has been struck by a car while cycling. She has suffered severe injuries. 25 minutes flying time southeast of Auckland at the popular seaside township of Whangamata. Veteran paramedic Chris Deacon knows all too well to expect the worst.
Usually the person on the bike comes off second best. Either the major systems of the body could be damaged or the whole lot. You know, head injuries, chest, abdo, long bones, you know, the whole shooting match. So hopefully there hasn't been too much speed involved.
Okay, we'll come over the bottom left corner of the pad as we look at the hood. Straight down to the H. We're now coming into the pad. All set secure in the rear. Door coming back. No sign of any other obstructions. You're clear to ground. Roger that. One under rust, good. The lever is down locked. Everyone's cleared out. Right.
Emergency doctor Tim Park and paramedic Chris Deacon waste no time touching base with on-site ambulance crews.
She got hit by some sort of vehicle on a push bike.
What sort of vehicle?
We've got the prime doctor in here, so you're best to talk to him or the EMT.
Aye.
Inside the ambulance, the team find 72-year-old Jacqueline in excruciating pain.
When I did my training in Alaska.
From the top, was she KO'd?
No loss of consciousness. She's mainly having spasm in her low back area.
She's in a lot of pain right now.
Spasm. Between
Where do you sore mostly, Jackie?
First little bit, I think.
Goes into
Is that syringe
right
with it in there?
side,
Yep. We got trouble. Give us
sometimes it's the left.
Right. Jacqueline's spasms throughout her body are possible signs of spinal damage.
The spasm sort of
10 per
starts
ml.
just above my knee,
Yeah.
and then it goes into my hip.
Dr. Tim Park must investigate further and assess the level of sensation in her body.
Hey, Jackie, able to wiggle these toes?
No.
Not able to? Or too sore?
No, I can't do it. They won't work.
What about down here, ma'am? Can you wiggle your toes here? Difficult.
And I keep getting pins and needles in my arms and...
Pins and needles in your arms as well? Can you squeeze my fingers here? Find that a bit tricky?
Yeah.
Tim knows that the signs are not looking good.
I think she's got a central cord.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Kind of an upper motor.
Yeah, it's like a central cord.
You can see this kind of thing here. Yes, very concerning for that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
En route to Auckland Hospital is 23-year-old Kyle Ashman.
Kyle here has been hit directly on the head by a big steel cable. Quite close to the top of the skin is the skull. So the skull is a bony structure that covers our brain, protects it from injury. So we're concerned that the blow's been big enough or forceful enough when it's hit his head to actually crack or break that bone. If that's happened and he's got an open wound there, then obviously it opens the brain up to infection and other bits and pieces as well. So it's quite an important structure to look after, and when you damage it, we need to make sure we take all the right precautions with it.
Rescue 1, about to land, Auckland Hospital, terminate silage.
Rescue 1 landing Auckland Hospital, silage camp.
Ambulance control, Westpac 1 at destination.
Copy Westpac 1.
Kyle finally arrives at Auckland Hospital and is rushed off to the resus unit, where paramedic Russell Clark hands him over.
So
So this is Kyle, 23-year-old male. He was working in the forestry today, and he's been struck by a steel cable from a skyline, and it's come across and hit him on the top of the head. So the cable didn't actually snap. All right, so there wasn't, I'm not sure how much force was involved there. He was on his own. He walked down the hill 100 metres, and then local ambulance crews found him sitting in the car, conscious and confused with a head lack. All right, so, and vague memory of the incident, so unsure how long he was knocked out for initially on scene. Cole's fairly stable now. We're in Auckland Resus, and he's been assessed by the trauma team. They'll do a standard workup for him, which will include blood, X-rays, and then probably through to the CT scanner to actually see what damage there is, and then they'll treat it from there.
72-year-old Jacqueline Moore has sustained a possible spinal injury after being hit by an oncoming vehicle while cycling.
And then I'll drop some in the bag, just in case we need it for these.
Dr. Tim Park's main concern is the loss of feeling throughout her legs and arms.
I mean, it's probably a cervical cord bruise at C45. Just a wee bit concerned about some tingling and numbness and weakness she's got in her arms and legs. And that might just indicate a thing called cord syndrome, where the spinal cord gets a wee bit of a bruise. So we're going to have to transport her very slowly and carefully and take her to the experts at Waikato and see if we get some scans and work out what's going on.
Partner John Moore waits patiently outside the ambulance, unaware of the seriousness of Jackie's injuries.
Yeah, she's got a few neurological deficits. She might have some spinal cord injury. And she's possibly got a fractured pelvis or some high hip bone fracture, so we're giving her some pain relief.
With Jackie's pain under control for now, the team decide to move and prepare her for transport.
And it's confirmed work at the hospitals all ahead? Yep. Cool, 40 minutes. Right guys, do you want to get underway? Got a bit more stuff to do?
No, we're good.
Lifting.
Young Jackie is 69 years of age. She's obviously pretty mobile and fit lady, the fact that she's out on a bicycle, but she's been hit by a car. Nobody seems to know what speed it was going, but sort of from the top through her spinal cord somewhere, we suspect possibly there's been maybe some damage, either permanent or only temporary. We're not sure at this stage.
Northcom, Westpac Rescue 2.
Westpac Rescue 2, go ahead.
Landing Waikato Hospital now. Okay, we're committed.
Jackie's certainly in the right place. We had some real concerns about injury to her spinal cord, and as a result of that, you can have respiratory problems, you get respiratory depression. I think she'll do well in the end, hopefully, and only time will tell.
You all right, mate? Okay. Doing very well.
Seriously injured mountain biker Aaron Ewan is being prepared for transport to hospital after he crashed while racing.
3, 1, 2, 3, smoothly down.
He has sustained spinal damage, leaving him paralysed from the waist down.
Really well, eh? Yeah, how are you feeling? Not too sick? Don't worry about it. Cool. One of the nightmares is somebody who's potentially got a spinal injury who starts vomiting. You're immediately worried that you're not going to be able to turn them onto their side to let them spit all the vomit out, that sort of thing. So we've given them some anti-nausea medication, which will hopefully keep them reasonably settled while we get him back to Middlemore. Okay. There's very little else we can do from at this stage, given that it seems most likely that it's an isolated injury to his back.
Aaron's mother will also travel to hospital, while Dad's left with the daunting task of informing other family and friends.
Over we go.
It's clear. Alright, we're out of here. Westpac Rescue 2 is airborne out of Hanua's en route to Middlemore Hospital, and status 2. Flight time 8 minutes. 8 minutes.
Aaron does have an injury to his neck or his cervical spine. At the moment has no real feeling or movement below the level of about his waist. So that's a concern.
Northcom Westpac 2.
Go ahead, Westpac 2.
It's landed, Middlemore Hospital.
He's pretty much as we've found him in terms of his symptoms. He still can't feel his legs or anything below the waist. I think the thing that probably makes me most worried about him is the fact that he had absolutely no feeling whatsoever. That makes me pretty worried that he's done quite a serious injury. He could end up paraplegic from this incident. Time will tell. The CT scans and the tests they do today will be the first step in working that out. And then there's a lot of time and potentially rehabilitation to work out quite how severe the limitations his injury place on him.
Six weeks later, after emergency surgery to a broken spine, Aaron was transferred to Auckland Spinal Unit, where he is still undergoing extensive rehabilitation. He still remembers how a normal day's racing went horribly wrong.
We went out just like it was a normal day and entered the race, just did some runs and stuff. Towards the end, on our last run, I just went to go do, it was only a little jump, but my front wheel just washed out on the takeoff and it was a hip. So instead of turning, I just went straight and went back first into a tree.
And that's when the reality of what happened struck home.
Because the adrenaline was going, I just thought just enough of a crash. As soon as I could feel my legs, I knew I might be paralysed.
His mother Judy was the first to be notified of his condition.
We didn't hold it together very well once Aaron was actually, when he was being given pain relief, we had a good cry together. But at that point, nobody else knew. His dad didn't know. Nobody knew. It was just me, and I don't know, you just do what you're able to do at the time, I suppose.
But with his injury came a new lease on life.
People worry about what their hair and stuff like that looks like at school, and then I used to think about this stuff like normal kids would, and now he doesn't care, puts things into perspective of life, and yeah, you learn quite a bit from it.
Kyle Ashram spent 1 week in hospital recovering from a fractured skull and is now progressing slowly back to full health. Jacqueline Moore is still being treated for her bruised spine, but is determined to get back on the bike. And for Aaron, he's just thankful to all those people that helped him that frightful day.
Thanks to everyone just helped me out, and ACC and the Westpac, and it's like especially everyone, just all the volunteers at the race, all the marshals, just everyone. I can't even, there's so many of them.